couple.
Yeah, I mean, we can. This episode of the Backpack Show brought to you by Castos. If you don't like our faces, get our audio podcast. Anywhere you get audio podcast, Castos is to blame.
You think that will help?
That was the first one. I don't know.
Because then you're going to sound like that. He doesn't sound like that normally.
This episode of the Backpack Show brought to you by StreamYard.
Yay!
You can make your own show like this. You could have video people come into your show.
Get your own yellow tux expert who can teach you how to create a fans first culture.
We are so excited. We asked Jesse Cole to come back. It's only been a few months. He must have been like, why did you even ask us back?
Because this is purely selfish. We just want to ask more questions.
We like Jesse Cole is the real answer to this. Jesse runs the Savannah Bananas. We've never been so moved. This is ostensibly a party where a baseball game breaks out. And even more so, they invented a new game.
Banana ball.
Banana ball. Thank goodness no bananas are harmed in the creation of this ball game. But we have some things. Janice, Coach, how are you? Good to see you.
There is nobody who knows more about creating a fans first culture than Jesse Cole.
And we're going to dig in even deeper than last time.
Welcome to the Backpack Show with your hosts, Chris Brogan and Carrie Gargone. Boom shakalaka.
Wow, Dean Shaw joins us. Dean Shaw says, I'm a proud owner of a Savannah Bananas shirt.
As am I, Dean.
Good stuff, Dean. I think you look a little different in yours, Dean. Banana ball. We've got Jesse Cole. We're so excited. I mean, it's a difference. Well, I'm going to ask Jesse this question. I was going to toot my own horn. I'll let Jesse toot it.
Let him toot it? Okay, yeah. Good. Let's do that.
All right. Toot my horn, Jesse. It's a real difference when you get those people that interview you very tongue-in-cheek the whole time as if they're like not with you on the joke than someone who like genuinely digs what you have to do. Is that true?
Yes, 1,000%. And I feel like we're in on the joke together, the three of us.
It's absolutely how that works. That's why we keep trying to sell people on the idea, come backstage with your little backpack coins because the better show. We had an extra whole show last night with the guest after we hung up on everybody else.
The first WNBA player from Jamaica last night, by the way.
Yeah, Jamaican WNBA player.
The Jamaican Hurricane, they called her. And we were backstage chatting it up after it was over for like 10 solid minutes.
She was something else. She was talking about her first time coming to the States. She didn't even have clothes for cold weather. Jamaica, think about it. She, winter in Oklahoma turns out to be worse than she thought. Jesse Cole.
The whole tux. Elizabeth.
Listen, Elizabeth, take a look at this for a second. It's a whole thing. It's a whole outfit, right down to the underpants. Validated that.
We have Dolce and Banana underwear, so not today.
Dolce and Banana. It never ends. Okay, let's start here, I guess, just to make it look like it's really a show, not just a love fest. You launched Banana Ball. This is a new kind of ball game. Talk us through it.
Again, years in the making. So, when I first realized, I started meeting with people in the community, telling them about our baseball team. Everyone said they don't like baseball. So it was good luck trying to get people to come to a baseball game if they didn't like baseball. So we started, doing crazy things with breakdancing first base coaches, senior citizen dance team, Banana Nanas, and Man-Nanas, our male cheerleading team, and player dancing, and just did all that stuff. But then even though in Savannah, even though our games were selling out after, again, as you guys know, the last show, we only sold 2 tickets in our first 3 months. My wife and I sleeping on an airbed. We failed. Once we got over that, started selling out games, people were still leaving games early. There were scalpers outside, but people were still leaving early. And I was like, this game is too long. And so we realized Major League attendance declining dramatically. The average baseball fan, 60 years old. If you ask Little Leaguers who their favorite athlete is, they're never baseball players. We said we need to make this game more fun and more exciting. So for 2 years, we've been testing behind the scenes this crazy game, and we finally rolled it out big time this spring in Savannah and on our one city world tour, which if you're going to do a world tour, do it at one city. And that's what we did this spring. And it was wild, crazy. And I've never seen things that happen on a baseball field that happened this past spring.
The rules are, there's a handful of rules. Every inning counts. There's a 2-hour time limit right there. You've turned the game of baseball into 2 hours kind of known entity. It's like going to a movie. The movie starts at 3.
But
it's going to end around 5.
Are there innings that don't count in regular baseball?
Yeah, so every inning counts. Basically, what's a regular baseball game, team scores 5 runs, the game's kind of over, it's boring. So every inning counts. If you win the inning, you get a point. First team to 5 points wins. So again, what are the most exciting plays of baseball? The walk-off at the end of the game. The team's losing, they get a walk-off, they celebrate, Gatorade showers. Our first game of Banana Ball this spring, we had 4 walk-offs in the middle of the game, and they were celebrating at second base like Gatorade showers in like the 3rd inning. It was wild because you make the innings matter, so it's more exciting. So that was every inning counts. So you have walk-offs really at any inning.
No bunting because no one comes to baseball to watch a bunt.
Yeah, that's a personal vendetta I have against bunting. Like, all right, let's just give it a tappy tap. Let's just give the ball a tappy tap. It's not athletic. All right, I want to see some athleticism. When I was a 5-year-old, my dad used to say, swing hard in case you hit it. So let's get up there and swing. So no bunting.
In case you hit it. Love the optimism.
Yeah, that was my dad. But yeah, the rest of the rules. Batters can steal first. Punish a pitcher. If he can't throw strikes, let him take off. The batter can take off at any count, steal first. That happened 4 times during our spring series. No walks allowed. You guys tell me. That's pretty boring, right? A walk?
Yeah.
I mean, just like think about athleticism. Like an athlete. Like, all right, now it's time to walk to first base.
Because you suck so much you can't throw balls straight.
Yeah. So we said, let's make it a sprint. So we tested this out, and the first time it was a disaster. But we said sprint. So as soon as the ball 4, the batter gets to sprint to as many bases as he can, while the position players have to throw it around to every single position player. So the catcher fires it to third, short second, the outfielders come in, and the runner is rounding first, rounding second, and there's usually a play at third or a play at second. It makes a walk actually kind of exciting.
How is this going? Like, are people now staying through the end? Like, how is the whole...
Yeah, because it's at 2 hours. So they know at 8:45, they want to see the end of the game. And then at the end of the game, it's a showdown. If a team hasn't got to 5 points yet, it goes to a showdown, and it's pitcher versus hitter. No one else in the field, and the hitter has to score. So it's like a penalty kick. The pitcher's trying to strike out the guy. The hitter's trying to hit the ball in the outfield. So it becomes an exciting play at the end of the game.
And then the last on this page anyway is my favorite. If a fan catches a foul ball, it's also an out.
Yeah, that was, again, fans first is our mindset. So we said, why don't we get the fans involved in the game? And I think I'm the kind of like you guys, you think about the best case scenario. And I think about like the end of like the 9th inning, the end of a game, and the Bananas are on the field. And then all of a sudden the visitor hits a ball in foul territory and a fan catches it to end the game. And he's interviewed by the media. You saved the Bananas. Like, that's how I pictured it. And this is how it actually went. In the 3rd game, the Bananas were rallying and they had guys on base, and the Party Animals, who we developed another team called the Party Animals, they threw a pitch and our guy hit a foul ball into the deck. The guy was trying to protect himself. He protected himself, but he caught the ball, ended the inning, and the entire stadium started booing him. That's how it actually went.
So are the Party Animals your Washington Generals or whatever they're?
Yeah. Yes, you got that. Yeah, they're Washington Generals. And boy, they developed a personality of themselves. So they had pizza delivered to the dugout. They were doing shot-cutting energy drinks on the field. They have a cutoff jersey. I mean, they're wild. So they have a little wild personality. And they actually have fans. They have people wanting their jerseys, which I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
That's
crazy
interesting
fun,
for
crazy
sure.
Fun time. But what about sales? Like, what about merchandise and all that? Like, I know you give away food, right? That's a big part of the experience. It's all included.
So merchandise has been wild for us. And we first merchandise, the first shipments of Bananas shirts, Bananas was spelled wrong. There were too many N's in Bananas. I mean, we've messed up on merchandise so bad in the beginning. But then we kept trying to evolve. So now it's free shipping, always and forever. So, it's not like pay $99. It's always free shipping.
And you get a handwritten note.
Oh, you get yeah. So you bought merch. So yes, as you know, so you get a. We didn't start like this. It was really bad. I mean, Excel sheets. We were shipping USPS, but now it's a custom yellow box, delivered fresh stamp. You get a free koozie, free decal, yellow tissue paper, a note with your merch sprinkled with potassium. You get a video sent to you when you buy merch. We made it into an experience, and now merchandise, out of nowhere, has become a 7-figure brand, and it's been growing more than I ever imagined. And after we eliminated all ads last year, because we don't believe sponsor ads at a ballpark are fans first, then no one wants to come to our stadium to be advertised to. We eliminated that, and now our merchandise has more than covered it in the last year, which has been very fortunate because of where we came from.
Wow, you just packed so much into like the first 6 minutes.
I know, we could just quit the show right now. We got it all.
All right, so no ads.
Yes.
Food is all inclusive, right? Eat or drink whatever as much as you want. Shorter games. With different rules. And so how long's the whole experience? The game is 2 hours, but there's a bunch of other stuff you do around it, or the whole experience is 2 hours?
Yeah, so we have a pre-show, a show, and a post-game show. So the pre-show starts with a march. When people are in line, we have our 20-piece pep band come out. They'll play some Mardi Gras music. Our players will come out. Our breakdancing coaches will come out. Our Banana Nanas, our male cheerleading team. And we'll come out and do a performance for the crowd while they're waiting in line. And it's a march, and you get everyone dancing. Then they come in. This year, you guys will appreciate this. We tried weigh-ins. So like UFC and boxing. So before the games, we said, how do we get more of this competition between the party animals and the bananas? And so we said, all right, let's do weigh-ins. So I let the guys run with this. We bring out a scale to home plate. We bring out an announcer. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Representing the party animals. And a guy comes out, and he actually was a big guy, but he painted abs on himself. He had literally a cut-off jersey. And then the banana player comes out, rips his jersey off. They weigh down and flex off, staring at each other. So that's how the game starts. The last game of the spring series, the player didn't tell me this. He came out in just Dolce and Banana, our underwear, and and I'm like, oh my God, all the kids, everyone's watching this, but the fans laughed hysterically, and it set the tone for a big win for the Bananas.
You need boxers.
Kate wants to know, did you just say 7-figure merch business?
Yes, that's what's happened. Yeah, it's you look at most teams, what happens is they have a big start, brand new team launch. They may do whatever. And then they go down every year as their brand becomes a little less relevant. We've gone the opposite way. So we've been growing by 6 figures and then some every single year. And now this year we'll be hitting 7 figures. So
sounds like they're organizing like a backpackers trip.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's heading your way. 2 from Texas, 1 from Maine. This could be crazy.
That's why we're trying to take the show on the road. We realized we reached capacity here, and how can you bring fun to more people? And it was tough. It was a learning experience. There were a lot of unique failures on the way, but it's fun because I think people haven't seen a game where they have the dancing umpire and they have a player on stilts come up to bat. We had the world's tallest player come up to bat in stilts, and that was an experience too. You should have seen that at tryouts. I thought he was going to fall down badly. I was very petrified of that. He didn't. He survived. But when you do these new things, people are kind of intrigued. It's not a boring baseball game, and that's why we're trying to push the envelope with.
We need a block of seats for the Backpack Show fans.
Can't be on a weekend. Those are sold out like 2 or 3 months out at this
do
point.
you have stilts, and can you bring them?
I'll tell you guys the challenge. So we've been a college summer team for 5 years now, and that's what we've been. And now we've started this pro team. And the summer is still a college summer baseball team that still has to play by the regular rules. And we have fans reaching out to us left and right. They want to see Banana Ball. They want to see Banana Ball. And so we developed one Banana Ball game exhibition this summer. But then that's where really the future of the Bananas is this faster game. It's just more fun. And I don't think people need to know, the wins and the losses. Even though the Bananas lost 2 games of Banana Ball, they're there for the fun. And I think that's going to be the goal.
You mentioned very much in passing, you and the missus on an air mattress, and just how like this couldn't have happened to the better guy. You know what I mean? It couldn't happen to someone who just everything had gone horribly wrong for. And so now you're kind of reaping these rewards, such as it were. It's not exactly like, you have 5 yellow Teslas out front, but
yellow.
It's a better world. As you start thinking about this, it's almost like the college ball thing holds you back. It's almost like you're going to run out of things for people to complain about.
We still have people complain. But yeah, I think, it's very easy to see where the world, you guys know this, marketing, everything, businesses, people want things faster. They want things easier. And it's always going to be that way. No one wants things that are longer and more inconvenient. And so for us, baseball traditional, I don't think anyone really wants the old way of doing things. We're used to the new way of doing things. And so, yeah, it's holding us back right now. And now we got to figure out how do we do this, because it's not just the Globetrotter model. We want the games to be competitive. We don't want it to be a completely scripted show. We want it to be, players that really battle and play. We think that's more fun. So we're going to try to figure out how to do this on a year-round basis. But that's what's exciting about it. It's because we have no idea how we are going to do it. We're just going to keep testing. Like next year, we'll go to 4 cities instead of 1 city. Then we'll go to 8 cities. And you just keep trying the new cities at bigger venues. We'll go to a 10,000-seat stadium next year and just keep pushing it and seeing if it works. Hopefully it does.
And the outcome's always up in the air. It's not going to be like pro wrestling where like you kind of know if you're in somebody's hometown, that they're going to win.
Yeah, well, I think that makes it exciting. I think for the players, you want that competitiveness. I think you want a little bit of competitiveness trying to win. You want the showdowns battling, plus the fun, the script, the dancing, all the craziness. I think that's what we want to be. We think it's different than the Globetrotters because we want adults not to care as well. And whereas the Globetrotters, I think it's just solely kids. We want adults to get into it and like, you said, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen? Not who's going to get confetti.
The other questions we have for you, we have do ads at some point. We have other questions we have for you, which is, you're a master at developing community. Now, some part of this, one part of the recipe is always that the community has to pick it up. Like you could do all of these things, but if they're just like, soggy shirts, it's not going to work out so well. How do you how do you seed that, or how long before they picked it up and owned their part of this interaction?
Yeah, at first we were really misunderstood. I mean, as I shared, when we first came in here, there was professional baseball for 90 years in Savannah. And, we had this big plan. It's going to be all inclusive. It's going to be fans first. It's going to be fun. And they were like, who are you guys? Because they hadn't seen it. And so we only sold 2 tickets in the first 3 months, and we overdrafted our account. We were completely out of money. And we said, we have to create an experience. Don't put all our money into marketing. Put all of our investment into the experience. So when the people do come, they become the evangelists. They become the raving fans. And so we invested in a pep band. We invested in a professional high fiver, which is a 6-year-old that high fives fans.
You invested?
Oh, yeah.
What did he charge you? Like a pack of ho-hos and some gum?
We break every child labor law. We're paying him to actually high five fans. It's really bad. We pay his mother, so we get around it. But yeah, we invested in all that. We invested in the fact our rival, in the college season is the Macon Bacon. So we bought hundreds of Macon Bacon urinal cakes. We bought Macon Bacon toilet paper. I mean, we invest in, so in every experience, you go into the bathroom, we're like, this is kind of remarkable. The bathroom is different. We invested in all the underwear. So we put all our money there. We don't spend any money on traditional marketing. We spend it all once people get to the stadium. I'm standing in front. We bought a giant yellow carpet. We'll eventually have a banana brick road that goes around the stadium. And so when you think about all that, then people believe you have to see it. And that's our goal. We want them to say, you wouldn't believe what happened when I went to a Bananas game. And if we create that, we think we have all the marketing collateral, and we create fans that are really excited about the product. So that's the big goal. It was tough at first, but now we're getting closer every day.
Dean wants to know, any concerns that the coolest baseball team name crown will be lost to the Carolina Disco Turkeys?
A lot of respect to them. I think a lot of teams that are getting crazy. Carolina, I saw that logo come out. That's a fun name. And it'll be exciting to see what they do to continue that brand with it.
Elizabeth asks, can you rent venues like if you're on a rock and roll tour, and how do you get teams formed from out of town?
Good question. I'll tell you this. I learned a great lesson from Nordstrom. And I don't know if you guys heard this on the Masters of Scale podcast. Nordstrom, they asked, how'd you grow? How'd you scale from out of Seattle to other one? And he said, the Malls of America were building. This was John Nordstrom. He said, the Malls of America were building, and they kept coming to us. I said I wasn't interested. And then they finally said, well, if you come, we'll make it a good deal for you. And he's like, what do you have in mind? And he said, well, we'll pay you a signing bonus of between $30 and $40 million, and you'll pay $1 rent. And he was like, really? And that's how Nordstrom got built. They didn't pay rent. They got paid to be there. And then the malls all developed because they had a Nordstrom. They built their brand so strong in Seattle that everyone was calling to get them. And so I'm very fortunate. I called the Globetrotters, and they pay rent wherever they go. We haven't had to pay rent. And so they're actually investing in us to come. And I think I took that model from John Nordstrom because we don't have to go to any city. If we go to a city, we know that it's going to sell out some hotels, fortunately, and that we're going to bring in lots of food and bev for them. And I think I learned that, and it's worked out pretty well. So we don't look at the venues as renting. We look at what can be the win-win for both of us.
Come to Nashville.
Nashville's in the plans. That's probably in the 2-3 year plans. That's definitely a fun city we want to go to.
So I have to do a couple more ad reads, but I just had this thought about it. Why don't you, there you go. That's the ad. Will you do the read?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, make it up.
Yeah, it's your ad. Go ahead.
All right. Badass Water Company. It's the most badass water you'll ever drink, and you'll feel badass after you drink it. How'd I do?
That was great. I'm really into it.
I haven't said badass ever, but
people will be like, you should drink more water, and you'll be like, no, I should drink more badass water.
Well, yeah, it's just going to make you feel a lot better, obviously.
It's going to be better.
Come to Austin and Houston. Well, that's just greedy, Elizabeth.
Pick one in the middle. Let's go to San Marcos or somewhere. I don't know.
But I'll tell you guys, we have no idea how to do that. Like, we'd have no idea how to travel. Like, the investment of getting from Savannah there and figuring out that, and we have a pep band that has regular jobs, and everybody has regular jobs. So that's the thing. Like, we have to do one new test each year. Can we go to a further place and figure out, do we fly people in? And then
you really need a pop-up.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking this whole time too. We talked to a guy who runs a circus, and he takes it wherever he goes.
Kevin
Varnados. And he has his circus down to, well, it was one big truck. Now he's up to a couple of trucks. So it might be you have a tractor trailer driver in your future. Who knows?
We're open to try it, man.
But everybody has multiple roles. So you might need to get some people that can do, like, they can dance in the bananas, whatever. And then maybe they have a baby who's like a baby banana. And then maybe they can even play or serve food or something. You need like multiple.
Yes, the dual threats. That's why our breakdancing coach also choreographs all the dances for the players and helps work with the nanas and the mananas. So he's a triple threat, which is very valuable.
Ooh, that's important.
Yes.
Super smart.
This probably went nowhere where you guys were hoping this would go, by the way.
Oh my God, we didn't have any particular place.
We're here for this. This is what we're here for. When you said that about Masters of Scale podcast, of course, I'm like, oh, I haven't listened to that podcast. I'll have to check that out. What else do you do to feed the Jesse Cole brain? What's going on inside that noggin of yours? What keeps that yellow hat full?
Well, I did tell the original story when I was 23 years old, and I started in Gastonia. And my first day on the job as a general manager of a very bad baseball team, there was only $200 in the bank, $268 in the bank account, and only 200 fans coming to the game. And I just moved from my family's in Massachusetts. I went to school. I had nowhere else to go. So I didn't really know who to reach out to. So I just started reading books. And I didn't read much in college, but I was like, I'm forced to read because I can't pay myself. And so I said, P.T. Barnum and Walt Disney would be the best. There wasn't much in the sports landscape. So I started just reading everything on P.T. Barnum and Walt Disney and starting to envision how to create attention, how to do things over the top, the P.T. Barnum, and then how to have a vision to think bigger, the Walt Disney vision. And so that really helped form my whole mindset. And then from there, it's just, I've read your stuff, Chris. I'm trying to read everything that's interesting and go deep on it. So a lot about thinking differently, marketing, and then now I'm very interested in Feld Entertainment, Disney on Ice, groups that are doing the big touring acts and trying to learn from them that are much further ahead.
Cirque du Soleil at some point, and those kinds of creatures, that they decided at some point, well, we don't really need the animals, and they cut that expense out and all that. Yeah.
Dramatic. The regular circus shut down and Cirque du Soleil is still going. And so, obviously, and the way they've been able to recruit talent, I think that's really interesting. They've got some of the top talent from all over the world. So, Carrie, you and I were talking before then, who, not how. So how do you find the next who? That's going to be the big goal. And Cirque did a great job of that.
I can't imagine people who are around the area know, they've heard at least of the team, but I can't imagine someone coming from some other college, ball game, summer team and walking in for the interview. It can't go well for them.
The Chatamays.
They're straight,
Oh, you mean interviewing with us? Oh, yeah. I've heard this from Tucker Max. He says we actually have people take corporate trauma classes before they interview with us because it's dramatically different. And I think I need to do that as well here, because if they say hey, we worked for this baseball team, it is very hard if someone worked for a baseball team to work for us, because you're coming with a mindset of every other baseball team. But if you worked in entertainment service, Vegas, we just hired a director of entertainment from Vegas. We hired a cruise director. So our host was actually the cruise director on the Norwegian Epic. And so he's our host. He literally the first day, these guys, I'll never forget, our breakdancing coach, the first day he ran out to first base to coach first and was the wrong inning because he didn't know. He didn't know. And then our host came up to me. Our host said, does the home team always bat in the bottom of the inning? And I said, yes, that does always happen. They didn't know. In my mind, I was laughing. I was like, this is perfect because they have no rules that they're used to in baseball or sports. We can break them all. And he brought some of our best, the Hey Baby that they do on cruise ships. That big Hey Baby dance, our entire stadium does the Hey Baby dance. And it came from a cruise ship, which is a big tradition for us. So I love that. And I think it's really good to grow your business by hire people from outside your industry.
That's the best way to do it. It really is. I'm trying to run through other questions.
Anybody else who breaks rules?
Nobody like that. Nobody.
Kate says, used to watch the Chatamays, would let my employees take a break and watch. It's really nice. I would always go to the night games and forget my insect repellent. So I would get eaten alive by mosquitoes, but it was a great game to watch. So well, love rule breakers, says Janice.
Well, I think it's so interesting. I think, everyone says you need to listen to your fans. We don't do surveys. I'm not going to lie. But what we do is I watch. And for me, I challenge you, and it's hard to do. I don't watch baseball games. I can't watch them. And it's crazy. I played baseball. But if you watch a baseball game, look at the people behind home plate and look how often they're actually watching the game. And to me, that shows a fundamental problem with the baseball game. So what I'm trying to notice is at our games, and I'll walk around, when are the moments they're not watching the game? That means there's dead air. So we either need to have music going, we need to have a show going. We're looking at 5 stages. We have a stage in the parking lot for entertainment, a stage in our plaza, the concourse, the grandstand, the field. And we need to have activity on all 5 stages. So I guess I know this is obviously business sided, how can you watch your fans at every interaction, watch your customers and look at how they react, even when they're not getting their main service, those transitions, those dead times. And I think that's the best time that you can create a fan is by doing something that's a little bit remarkable. And so we set a script. We have rain delay scripts. When it rains, we have an entire script of all the things that we do when it rains, which is wild. But we have fans say, it's the most fun I ever had at a baseball game, and you never threw a pitch. I'm like, okay, we're on to something now. And so that's what we've tried to rate, because I get bored. And if I'm getting bored, then other people are getting bored, and we can't get bored. And that's we're trying to attack boredom. And I think people will need a boredom attacked in every business from now on. We're all in the entertainment business. And I hate when people say they're not, because entertain means to provide enjoyment and provide amusement. So we're all trying to entertain. I don't care if you're in a yellow tux or what are you doing. If you're not entertaining your clients, someone else will, or your customers or your fans. And so that's what I'm trying to think, entertain nonstop. And that's a part of our mission. Fans first, entertain always.
There's a reason why at theme parks they started having the queue be like all decorated. Like you walk through Hogwarts Castle to get to the ride.
Yeah. Learn
from you gotta wait like 90 minutes.
100%. 100%. And yeah, it's great because you're waiting for an hour and a half and you better be entertained or it's a bad experience.
Exactly. So one question I have is we just got out the other side of the pandemic. For all we know, we're still in the pandemic, but we all feel like we're on the other side of it. How's that? What's the 2021 plan for the Bananas?
Yeah. So, we took a 7-figure hit last year. We found a way to play. And it was a hard decision. Obviously there was a lot of criticism. But again, simplicity, our decision is it fans first? And people could argue the other way, that it wasn't fans first to play. And we all came together and said, people will want us as an escape to go out and have fun. The people that feel safe, the people that feel comfortable, that we do it the right way will come out. And finally, the last game of the year, a season ticket holder came up to me with tears coming down his face. And he said, just want to let you know, Jesse, that you guys saved my life. And I go, whoa, explain, what do you mean? And he goes, well, before, the season during COVID, I was in a very dark place. He goes, a very dark place. And then I found out that you guys were going to play. And I marked the calendar. I put a circle on opening day. And I said, I want to get to opening day. And went to opening day. He came out. He goes, I danced. I sang. I watched the game. I had my burgers. And he goes, I had something to look forward to every single day. I had something that I was excited for every single day. And he said, you guys saved my life. And I don't take credit for that. The team doesn't take credit for that. But we feel we have a responsibility to play, to put on a show, to bring fun. So we found a way last year with a very small capacity, about a third of our capacity. This year we're able to go. I think we're about 3/4 to start the season, and I think we'll be able to get to full. So there's never a question. We will find a way, and our team said that that's our job. When you have a very simple mission, it's very easy to make decisions, and we just had to find a way, and it was a lot of work. So obviously this season we're feeling good, we're feeling strong because we did it all last summer, and we did it in the spring. So we're ready to rock, just not at full capacity, but it'll still be a great experience.
Yeah,
pretty darn good capacity.
Dean was saying even B2B people want to be entertained. My God, it is so true. No, people just won't tolerate that sawdusty B2B marketing content anymore. They're not going to do it. You can't be the Wassa Fiber Crisp of marketing.
My biggest pet peeve is professional. People say oh, you got to be professional. And I can't see a husband or wife coming home at the end of the night and saying, honey, I met the most professional person today. You're so professional. Let's talk about his professionalism. I think you want unique, you want different, you want fun, you want memorable. And so it's a different game. And so when people say professionalism, I say, I understand if you're in a hospital or a medical setting, you need some, but even they want to have a little humor. Even they want to feel a little joke, a little fun, make them feel real, not just so stuffy. And so I think, thank you for mentioning that in BTB, because I get a lot of criticism on that. Oh, you can be about entertainment. I'm like, no, I really believe everyone wants that.
Everybody wants that.
Everybody wants that. You know who gives it sometimes? Dr. Bitcoin. You can go to askdrbitcoin.substack.com. That's Mark Risen Hopkins. You don't know the first thing about crypto? Go to Ask Dr. Bitcoin. It's a newsletter, so it's good. It's available. Risen is a good, smart guy. He's written for TechCrunch, some other thing, probably some other place also.
Oh my God.
AskDrBitcoin.substack.com.
I feel like you and he, Jesse, shop at the same store, but in different color sections.
Yeah. See,
a lot of respect for Dr. Bitcoin. A lot of respect.
He's a doctor. I mean,
come on.
Yeah.
Is he holding a sledgehammer? What is he holding?
He's got it looks like 5 little coins or something.
Oh, 5 little coins. I thought the black thing in the back was a sledgehammer, but no.
That's the shadow of his head.
Okay.
Kate says, I say that about Chris after every show. I don't know what she means.
But Dr. Bitcoin?
No, probably that you're not that you're memorable or something.
Oh.
And she also is hinting that you talk about research.
What? This? What?
Yes. That.
Talking about that?
The subliminal sponsorship.
Hey, today's episode is sponsored subliminally. So, Jesse, if you ever wanted to give up Google because they're tracking you even when you don't want them to, you can use presearch.com. Presearch is decentralized. It's a whole new futuristic thing. You can even earn rewards while you search. So if you search enough times, and really who doesn't, you could, while you're protecting your privacy, you could be stacking coins. It's the future, decentralized. It's a beautiful thing. Presearch.com.
You just like it because you found yourself on it.
I looked me up and it was there. So I'm on the second week of using only pre-search, and I have not failed once. Everything goes fine. I do not need those other people.
Sorry to block you. Leslie says, I'd love to go see our local Portland Sea Dogs, and the games are fun, but your game sounds so entertaining. Good for you for providing something so entertaining and memorable.
Thanks, Leslie.
And Elizabeth says, that's why I like Southwest Airlines. Love and the jokes. Ready to start traveling again soon. I remember in Southwest, we had like the most terrible landing I've ever experienced. It was like, it should have been like in a cartoon. And they literally slammed on the brakes and we're like, and everyone's straining against their belts. And then the flight attendant just goes, we're here.
Perfect.
See, there's an area where I'd love a lot more entertainment. I would love right after that thing whacks the ground and does that. I would love if they could just throw fake, engine parts and stuff down the middle aisle.
But that's just you.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know on the flights where they sell the credit cards, they walk down just trying to sell you credit cards, walking down the flights. I'm like, that's such an opportunity. If you're told you have to do it, at least make it fun. Like you make fun of yourself a little bit, sound because no one gets excited. Here they come with the credit cards again. Like, it's just those opportunities I think are just look at whatever's the boring parts of your customer experience and make them fun and entertaining. And that's, I think there's this huge opportunities there, obviously.
Jesse Cole, I have fictional supposition-based bad news for you. You can no longer work in sports marketing anymore. Sorry, you were banned from the baseball world. No team. Sorry. Where would you apply all this?
I got asked that question before, but kind of where would I love the vacation cruise industry. And I mean, again, I know it's kind of similar. I love the idea of people coming on a vacation that want to have fun. And so it's like being with your people. Being with the people. So I think I would probably venture on any type of experience like that, cruise or a vacation or some kind of touring things. I know it's similar, but that's where I think I'm the most fun.
I feel like you could buy a cruise ship pretty cheap right now too. Probably like 70 grand or something.
Probably a good opportunity.
Just vaccinate everyone in advance.
Yeah. It's a tough time with the cruise industry. They'll come back though.
Carnival kept sending me mail like in
you market
April
like a router.
2020. A router? Oh yeah.
Yeah. See what you do with it.
But see, like being like real, like that's not fun. Like for me, and like I think like I've heard people say chase the fun. Like the idea of trying to like market something that's really really boring and miserable that you're not excited about, I wouldn't put the same energy into it. So it's like
you just have to figure out what it powers that is fun.
Yeah.
And then market
that router
sort of instead.
Woo, router.
Shut up. You're such a dough. You've sold plenty of routers.
I have sold some routers. Looking at two right now. Would anyone like to buy a router? So no, I know what you're saying because it's a crazy thing. But we've always had that question. I mean, anytime I go to give a speech somewhere, someone will be like, "Oh, but my product's stupid. I sell a toilet." And I said, what I said was, "Are you shitting me?" Because toilet. I said, what's extra fun about that? I said, there's so many things you can do. You can do tests of like just how much could you get in this thing and flush it and still work. Like, couldn't you do that?
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. See, toilets you could have a lot of fun with. I mean, we took the inspiration from the Kmart commercial with our free shipping. It's like, I just shipped my underwear. You shipped your what? I shipped my underwear. And then we go, heck, yeah. Ship, yeah. We just kept playing with it. It was a whole theme, and we put it out there. Again, you could have so much fun with that.
You could make a whole league of fruits. You could have bananas, then you could move to other kinds of fruits. You could work your way around to tomatoes. I know that there already is one, but like maybe you acquire them. I don't know.
There's something there. It's funny. We didn't think about like you guys are brand builders. You understand it. You get it. Like we were like Savannah Bananas. Like all right, we got a mascot split. We got Banana Nanas, and then Mananas, and then it just kept like okay. Then the food options like because we're looking at developing a banana brewery with just only banana beers. We already have a Savannah Banana Cream Soda, which is doing tremendously well. It's sold, and it's a specialty cream soda, frozen bananas, banana pudding. And there's so many things we can do with food. And so the brand expands. So now, it's like, I think food items for sports teams is brilliant if you do it right. We're still figuring that out.
Well, you could keep
Fenway
expanding.
Franks.
When you get around to where you have a pierogi team, I think you'll find people really turn out for those games.
Just keep going down the line.
Yeah,
tacos and all the things that people are passionate about, have fun with.
Fondue league.
Ooh, I like that. Look, you found the banana cream soda. Yeah.
It's good looking material right there.
So what do you do, like kind of the touch points that are digital versus in-person experience? What do you do to make those different as well?
Yeah, still learning on that, but we map the experience. So the first time when you buy a ticket, and we switch it up every year. The video I was a part of 2 years ago, as soon as you buy a ticket, you get a video. It comes to me and says, "Congrats, you just made the best decision of your day. Right now, as your ticket order came in, a high priority siren went off at our stadium, and our Bananiacs rushed to the ticket laboratory to produce your tickets. Then a banana nana slowly walked in and hand selected your tickets and placed them on a silk pill. We raised the silk pill up to the air. We sang Na Savannah, Nahi to celebrate the birth of a new fan. Then we watch your tickets underneath the stadium to our vault where they're waiting for you in maximum security, ready for you to go bananas." And so we film that. So they get that sent. Now it's a new one where the whole office is doing Hey Baby, but each year we mix it up to stay relevant. Merchandise, same thing. They get a fun video. We actually did a video with our players where they're running into the merch store. They're grabbing your merch. They're sprinting out like a baton, like the Olympics. They're passing it to someone else, and then it's going. And they get that after. So they first get a thank you email, which is with pictures, gifts, us celebrating. Then the day we ship it out, which is that day, usually the next day, they get another video. It's on its way with the players shipping it. And then they get a thank you call from our staff, which we print out all the sheets and do thank you calls to everyone who buys merch. So that's the start of the process.
The start. And the call is like, nobody likes answering the phone anymore, but it's actually really fun. It's like a nice conversation.
Did you answer or did you just get a voice?
I answered it. Because I was like, this feels like a banana thing.
Oh, you tested it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's very helpful to have a cell phone with an area code from not where you live, because then you can tell what the spam calls are.
Oh, because it's down here. Okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Now we do a lot. So for instance, if someone doesn't answer, because a lot of people don't answer phones anymore, I'll do a video. So I'll do a video. Hey, it's Jesse with the bananas here at the stadium. We're ready to ship your merch, and just little things. We text it to them because it's cell phone. So it's in our ticket experience coordinator, he now sends playlists of music to listen to before people come to the game. So on their game, they'll get a playlist of music like This Is Bananas, Can't Stop the Peeling, and different songs. And so it's those little touch points that we think matters. It sets the tone for the experience.
Especially when you can't do as much in person. Like you couldn't pack the seats and everything for the last 12 months. So you needed to do more to keep that feeling kind of there.
Yeah, 100%. And we're still learning at the after experience, and like we got it better at that. I mean, we have free s'mores station set up at the game, and we got our pep band and dancing. But after they leave, I think we can do something a nicer touch. So we're still trying to work on that. If you guys have ideas, I'm game, but like that another type of thing that could be sent to them. So not just everyone's in survey. Tell us about your experience. How would you rate us on a 1 to 10? I get NPS. I get it. But to me, it's a friction point because it's about you, not necessarily them. You're asking about them, but really you want it for you. And it seems like an inconvenience. And I get it, but we just don't do it because I can't figure out how to do it, make it fun.
So. What'd you talk about on the ride home? That's a question. What'd you talk about on the ride home?
Oh, just reframe the question.
What did you sing? Like what was the playlist like? Or did everyone have to be quiet and just take a break? Were you so excited out that you needed to just chill? Yeah, you just make it about them.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, because that's interesting. I mean, I guess because I was thinking about when I finish an event of any kind, I always want to replay the parts I liked the most. Like, when I walked out of Avengers Endgame, I'm like, could you believe that? I'm talking to absolute strangers about my experience at Avengers Endgame. So I can see that being the
helps you remember, and then it helps them remember that again because they talked about it again. They thought about it. So then that stays in their memory. That's smart. So what your idea? What's that?
Just an idea.
Yeah, no, I love it. Favorite moment, or what would you talk about? What was your favorite dance? Yeah, like that. That's good.
Did you dance? What was your favorite?
Yeah.
Who embarrassed themselves the most?
Yes. Yeah.
Get a little pokey with it.
We could always ask Dr. Bitcoin. Oh yeah, you need a Banana Nana's calendar if you don't already have one.
Yes, we need to do that. That was in the works. We couldn't get all the grandmas together and the nanas together, but yes, I don't know if we do it like. Do you go just like Nana style, or do you go kind of like which way would you guys go on the Nana calendar? There's different ways to go on the Nana calendar.
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, definitely a lot of good feathers, a lot of good boas.
Right.
The MOA boas, the better.
The MOA boas.
Because they could help with a lot of fixing.
Fresh bananas on the way home.
Like that.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
Plantain chips on taco night. I still feel like you should do birthday bananagrams, like send singing bananagrams to people's houses. We need a big banana costume to sing happy birthday.
Just work every aspect of your database, like whatever data you have. Do you know you've been here 7 times? Do you know what that amounts to? That's a bunch. And then something happens, right?
I like that. You mentioned the singing. We actually found a baseball player who can sing, who actually is a real singer. He signed a record deal. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers. I talked to him the other day, and I think he's going to come. I want to have a first player that literally sings his own entrance song as he's coming to bat, and when he's on the field, he's singing on their field. So that's a work. So he can do some bananagrams. I'm too sure.
That's big. Hey, look at this.
Oh, and here's our person of the day. Kaboom!
That was just in the back over there, I think. Let's see. Hang on. Janice, that's it. Taco night. Should there be plantain chips? Oh, she's smart. Platanos for taco night. Yeah, plantain's, banana's evil cousin. So,
yeah, there's a game there. There's something there. They're not
listen, Jesse, we did this once to you already, but we're double down. So what goes in your backpack? This is a question of either something physical or metaphorical. It could be something like an apple, clearly, or it could be something metaphorical, like sorrow. What's something you could put in your backpack that's going to help you out for the next 3 or 4 years? What's
funny, I can't even remember what I said last time. But
Me neither.
I remember I went something like kind of like practical, and the other guest went something like, my family. And I was like, I don't know how your wife and kids can fit in that backpack. I didn't understand it. I felt like a bad person because they chose the family, and I'm like, I don't know, I'll bring some food or whatever.
So you're the guy who didn't pick his family. That's nice.
That's what we've been calling you.
Yeah, it's hard. I remember we're in fun mode and saying I do all fun stuff, but I actually started to get serious mode. And I'll go serious mode a little bit. So for me, and I think we learned a lot over the last year and a half. It's it's human connection. It's everything. I write a thank you letter every day. I do 10 ideas. I write in my notebook, and I can still feel isolated. So wouldn't a cell phone or some kind of practical ability to be able to talk to people, wouldn't there be some value in that backpack on how you can connect with other people? So I don't know what that is, whether it's, I guess there's this thing called Zoom and StreamYard that works. So maybe something, but I would immediately think if I'm in a backpack by myself, I'm not even saying by myself. Are you saying on an island by myself or just in a backpack in general?
Anywhere. You can take it with you.
I'm really analyzing this question pretty a lot.
You are. Yeah.
So I won't go any deeper, but yeah, I think we'll stay there. A way to connect with people, I think.
Walkie-talkie, baby. Walkie-talkie. Because then someone else has to have one for it to be any fun.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. If I just had a phone and there was no one, that's man, this question got really hard for me.
Really good.
This is your second bite at the banana. You have no excuse.
Yeah, I should have just said one banana. Kept it simple.
Wow.
Where do we go from there? So this is tough, guys. I feel like I'm finishing with a dud. You guys
created a whole new game. You could never be boring.
Banana ball.
You're like, we're gonna make baseball amazing. We're gonna have a circus, and then a baseball game breaks out, and you're like, you know what? The baseball part's slowing us down, so we're gonna make a new game.
But you got to listen to this. This is what Jesse didn't want to talk about, or maybe did. This is the next big thing he's launching.